just want to talk.
Welcome to the second season of We Just Want to Talk. I'm Debbie,
I'm Miriam, and this is everything we want to talk about,
including Tegan and Sara. Hello. Welcome
Hi.
back. Officially.
Welcome back. Are you excited?
I'm excited. Very excited.
Same. Yeah, me too. All right, so today is a Thursday. It is the 18th of July, 2024, and this is our second season of We Just Want to Talk podcast. And
Called?
this is everything. It is called
Mhm.
This is Everything because we're going to talk about everything, like we've mentioned before.
Yes.
And this is the first episode titled The Con, and there's a reason why it is titled this way. In this episode, we're going to discuss a book because we said we're going to talk about everything. So some of the episodes will be, our own, discussions of books we've read. It's like a book club. We have a book club, Debbie and I. If you want to read the same books, we're always gonna share the book that we're reading at the moment,
Yes,
right? We're gonna tell you.
I'm going to post on the socials before I post the episode which
Yeah.
book it is.
Right now, the book is kind of hard. Let us give them like a
The
hint 2
second
weeks
book,
before.
you mean?
Yeah, the second book. So not
Yeah.
not in this episode, but like because I want to prepare a question as well. So I want them while they're reading to find answers. Oh my God, that's very teacher of me. But I want them to
Right. So
Right?
you want the listeners to answer questions, so they need to read the book, right? And the second book is a little bit harder. So the first book is really easy because we
And I
want to
would
start
like-
easy.
Yeah, I would like to
And
have
then
a
the second
guest
book.
during the second book. I think
Oh,
it's really
okay.
like it's a Virginia Woolf book. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So,
not talk too much about
let's
it because
not,
it's going
let's
to
not.
take
Yeah,
some time.
it's
We're going to
it's a
have other
surprise.
episodes. We're going to have
course.
other episodes before the
Of course,
second
yeah.
book club.
But we started with a book, and it's very nice, very easy, an easy read. We told you about that. It's We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. But I want to say that the episode title is Lying and Con Artistry. So because the book We Were
No, the
Liars.
episode topic.
Yeah, the episode's topic. We said the title is The Con. Before we begin with the book discussion and the topics discussion, Debbie, would you like to tell us some Tegan and Sara news? Since remember, we're still going to talk about Tegan and Sara.
Sure. Can you share the drive? I have them there.
Oh, all right.
We haven't actually recorded since like January. The last episode I think was March, but we haven't actually
It's been 6
recorded
months.
For a long time. So like I'm going to try to make it quickly.
As brief as possible.
For the next episode then I think we should talk about the Not Tonight tour because I was there, so I wanted to talk about it, but it doesn't have to be on this episode. But that happened. The Not Tonight tour happened in April. They did a bunch of concerts. They released Where Does the Good Grow. They had a collab with it's in French, Pou de Loup. I don't know how to say that, but it's a clothing brand.
It's just French. Yeah.
Yeah. They did the Junos. They went to the Junos.
Oh, true.
Melissa Ferrick released Where Does the Good Go? A cover of Where Does the Good Go? There were a bunch of articles. It's all in the Instagram and Twitter. Tegan and Sara updates. If you want to go back and look at everything. So for future projects on Substack, Tegan recently posted a comment. So they're going to release a book, a chapter book aimed to 10-year-olds. So it's going to be still like for kids, but older this time. Not older, younger. They're going to release Crush, the sequel to Junior High, the graphic novel. And then things that they've talked about was new music with Felix Cartel. They're going to release something. I don't know. But they posted on Instagram that they're making something together. So that's going to come eventually.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions?
I do think there is something going on with this business of art. That's why or maybe Tegan is just feeling nostalgic. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like
Yeah,
it seems very fishy.
they posted on Instagram about this business of art. Today it's been 24 years that it was released. And so we're like, okay, why are you bringing this up now? So maybe there will be something, I don't know. That's a little bit sus. So that might be a project for this business of art. I don't know. Um, so that's it for Tegan and Sara news. Let's go back to the topic.
All right. But wait, the listeners, are we going to read their commentary right now
Do you
or
wanna
at the
do
end?
you want to do that now or after we're done with the book?
What is it
It's
about? What
quite
is there?
it's quite a lot.
Oh my
We
God.
exactly. So I wanted to just
Keep it till
wrap
the
it
end.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's begin our discussion of the book. Do you guys have your books? We have our book. I have my PDF copy with comments, and Debbie has her hard copy.
I have an
So
actual book. It's really
yeah,
tiny.
it's really
So
tiny. It's
small.
an easy read. Like you can finish it in within 2 days if you're a fast reader. 3 days maximum.
If you're a fast reader, you can read it in
In a
one
day.
sitting.
Yeah.
If you are a fast
No,
reader,
it's not one sitting. It can't be. How
because a
many pages
regular
is it?
this one has 400 pages, but that doesn't count because
It's
this one,
it's 160 pages basically. It's not it's a novella. You can consider it a novella. It's not a novel. It's not a short story, so you can't finish one sitting. One sitting means you don't even go to the bathroom unless you take the book with you.
no, if you are a fast reader, you can eat it in the sitting. I'm telling you, because I am a slow reader, and the first time I read it, I started like in the afternoon, and then I didn't sleep until I finished it.
Oh,
So I read it in like one day. So if you are a fast reader, you're going to be fast. But either
yeah.
way, right now it doesn't matter because whoever read it already read it. Unless people are listening to this and then they're like, okay, let me just read it and then they come back.
Yeah, because we're gonna spoil a lot.
So
All right, so it's again, it's called We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and it was published on May 13th, 2014. What a date. There's she also wrote a prequel to it. She wrote it after, of course. It's
mhm.
called Family of Liars because if you read the book, you'll notice how the family is very involved and the sisters are very, and the grandpa as well are very important characters within the book. So it's not just the teenagers, the four liars. So it was published on May 3rd, 2022. And right now we have We Were Liars as, you know, it's adapted into an Amazon Prime show. We mentioned that, I suppose. It's being filmed
Well,
as we
it's
speak.
yeah, it hasn't been released or anything yet. It's
It's in
just like I
production. Yeah,
guess, yeah, in production.
it is in production. And Esther McGregor, who played Natalie in high school, is playing Mirren. How do you pronounce her name? Mirren?
I say Miran,
I thought
but
Mirren. I don't
I
know
don't know
why.
if that's the pronunciation. It could be
Yeah, because
Miran.
like because double R, I thought it's Mirren. I don't know.
Could be.
Mirren could be. Yeah. We're
Is
both
that
not
is it
native
an English
speakers.
name even? It might be like French or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. Even Cadence, is that how you pronounce it? Cadence,
Candace?
Cadence? No, it's
Candace.
not Candace. It's not Candace.
Come on, it's not Cadence.
Cadence,
Well,
Cadence. It's not
it it
Candace.
it,
No
it
way.
has to be Candace. Don't they call her Caddy?
Yeah. So Cadence, not Candace, not Candy.
Wait. Oh, it is Kate. I don't know how to say this. Cadence?
Okay, let's use Google Translate so it can read for
Wow.
us. Why you read the book twice? Cadence. It's cadence.
Cadence.
And it's like
Cadence.
it means harmony,
Nice. So
rhythm,
that's
kind
so
of.
Cadence is the protagonist. She's the main character, and she also
Mhm.
it's in the first
She's
person. So she narrates.
narrated. Yes, she's Penny's daughter. So we have like three daughters to
Sisters?
yeah, sisters to Harris and Tipper. We don't see Tipper a lot, the grandma, because she's like she dies early on. Harris Sinclair is the father. He's very proud to be American, to have lived the American dream, to be a Sinclair, to be all white and blonde and basically own money. And he has three daughters, Penny, Bess, and Carrie. And this allusion and metaphorical connection of the three daughters to Shakespeare is like, you know, a king, like a man who has three daughters is made throughout
Did
the
you
entire.
did you sorry, did you come up with that or did you read about that? Because I
No,
didn't know about that.
oh my God, she mentioned King Lear. Oh,
I'm
the
not like
story.
a yeah, I'm not a academic, so I don't know much about
Yeah.
like literature and stuff, but it's nice because I'm going to learn. So Shakespeare has,
So
is it a
Shakespeare
play?
has, yeah, King Lear, and it's
Okay.
about a king going mad, and he has three daughters. If she tells you the story at
Oh,
the beginning, um, before I get into Shakespeare and King Lear, these three daughters have children. Johnny and Will are Carrie's children. Bess is Mirren, Liberty, and Bonnie, the twins, and Taft are Bess's children. And
Bess
there's
has four,
Cadence. Yeah, has four. Cadence is Penny's child. Anyway, there's a lot of divorce and
and Cadence is the
separation.
oldest of all the
Yeah,
kids, all the grandchildren.
yes. Cadence is the oldest, so she's the heiress. So she's going to inherit supposedly this kingdom, this
Yeah.
the money.
Well,
Now, what is this kingdom? Yeah.
the grandfather has an island,
Yeah. And
and she
that's
would be the
that's
heir.
the setting basically of the story. So the setting is not only like um it's in the US, right? It's in like in different
Yes.
places, but the setting that collects these people is, you know, in the island, the Sinclair Island, basically. That's what I call it. And each aunt or each daughter has a house, and it's called basically you have Red Gate for Carrie, and she lives in New York City. Cuddle Down is for Bess, and it's, you know, you can see it like it's their really rundown place. And it's basically, and she lives also in Cambridge. And Windmere is um for Penny and Cadence. And
Yeah,
it's
these are
the
the
big
houses
one.
on the island, and every summer they go to the island. Cadence narrates, I think it's summer. She calls each, so she, it says that she was born right after summer. So like for each summer that she spent there, it's either like summer one, two, three. So each age of her is a summer. And it starts with summer 15. And the name of the island is Beechwood Island, and it's in Massachusetts. On the book, there's a family tree where you can see exactly where like each person stands in the family tree. Harry Sinclair, which is the grandfather, his house is called Claremont, which is the biggest house.
Yeah,
Cadence,
the grandfather has Beechwood, I think the house, and there's old New Beechwood, I think,
no,
is the
Beechwood is
island.
the island. The house is Claremont, and then there's the new
Claremont,
Claremont.
sorry. Yeah, New Claremont.
There's a map on the book too that you can
Yeah,
see
that
all the
can,
houses in the island, so you
yeah,
can like whenever she
envision.
narrates
Yeah.
things that are happening, you can envision where.
All right. The thing
And
is with this
they are
book,
rich. They are like filthy rich.
yeah, you know, is like Gilmore Girls type of rich. Like think of Gilmore Girls, like
Not Gilmore Girls, Gossip Girl.
no Gilmore Girls, like
They're not
not Lorelai and Rory. You've watched Gilmore Girls?
her grandma is that rich? They don't have an island.
Yeah, maybe think of Gossip Girl. I don't know, but it's like they're rich. Um, anyway, what intrigued me the most about the book and what I liked about it, before we get into our, you know, deep details, is the fact that there's this accident that I wanted to know. I felt like I start from the middle because the timeline
What?
is a bit the accident that Cadence mentions. It
Did you
felt like
start the book from the middle?
I started the book from the middle.
Oh, it felt like
Yeah,
that's true.
because
Yeah.
the timeline is a bit like chaotic. So like you connect everything later on while reading. I like that. Though the book, to be honest, for me, could be a bit cringy, some of the language.
Cringy how?
Like you know how she's like sweet honey, like how she calls them names. It's like teenage, very teenageish, but
Mm.
at the same time it's a young adult fiction. So
Uh-huh.
like I don't relate to that. Like I've read a lot of these books when I was 15, 16, and it reminded me of a book that I used to really love called I Heart You, You Haunt Me. And I remember um saying that, oh, it's the same language, same type of read, like I'm reading, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the same thing before I knew what the book was about. Like I didn't understand it was about death and all of these things. But yeah, it's very sad towards the end. I actually did tear up because I did not
Aw.
expect that. I did not at all,
I'm
which
I'm I'm
is
interested to see what you thought because I this is the second time that I wrote it, that
no, it's
I
a
read it.
good job for the author that she built this suspense.
Yeah.
She's built the suspense, and she broke it all down in a matter of a second. And I was just like, no way, this is not what I thought. Like I had some predictions, but didn't think it was.
I I had predictions when
Yeah,
I
but
first read it.
like, oh my, she's just like killing all of them, really. There is
I
a
was
lot
right.
of.
I was right with my prediction when I first read it.
I should have been right because
Well,
she did allude to Heathcliff and Catherine from Wuthering Heights. She did allude to
right.
that, and I still did not connect it. I don't know why. Like that's she if she did allude to that a lot, I should have connected that this is what's going to happen. Like, it's like a ghost story and
Hmm.
death and kind of like Wuthering Heights, you have, the two houses as well and the spaces, all of that.
I can't remember exactly when I first found the book, but it intrigued me because it was I was told it was a mystery, and
Right.
mystery is my favorite genre of book. Genre, as how I say it. I
It's
don't like that
actually a
word.
thriller, it's genre. It's a thriller
Genre.
genre. It's a
Mystery,
French word.
yeah, yeah, mystery
It's not
mystery
English.
thriller. That's my
Yeah,
favorite type.
that's what I know. Like, I didn't think it. So here's the thing. So I was reading, I was like kind of put off by the language. I was like, too teenageish. And then I went and Googled it, and then I saw thriller. I was like, what? No way. I thought it's like romance and like, I those romance
No.
books, and I
Hmm.
so that kind of shocked
Like
me,
you
and I
thought it was
liked
gonna
the
be
build
like
up.
drama.
Yeah, yeah, I like the build up. I truly did.
Yeah, I liked. Yeah, I really like my
Even
favorite genre. Like I said,
the
is
idea of the
mystery.
map and the idea of the family tree is also like it's in Wuthering Heights. When you open the book, like the old versions, you're going to see the map of the like of the Heights, and you're going to see the Earnshaw's family tree and all of those.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting as well that it was like within the family. So like,
Mm-hmm.
and because like every family has
A
their
family tree.
problems,
Yeah,
issues, drama and
yeah.
stuff like that. So I thought like if it's a thriller, I thought that was interesting. And what intrigued me throughout the book, things intrigued me. Like as I was reading, I was like, okay, so when are you gonna tell us like what happened to you? Because at some point we find out that she has an accident.
Yeah, from the beginning, from the first chapter, she tells us before the accident, and then she mentions, and
Oh
you think
yes.
you think it's a car accident at the beginning, and then you think it's a fallen accident, then you think it's like a
Yeah.
rape,
And then the
and
whole
you
time you're
think it's
reading, and
like,
then you're like,
yeah,
okay, like when are we going to tie this all up? And
yeah.
it's really nice how it's done.
You know why? We're I think she did the first person justice, and she did it. Is it a she? Why do I think it's a she? I don't know.
I don't know. That's what my
What?
first question when we started talking about the book was, do we know what E stands for? Because it's E Lockhart, but I don't
It's
know
a
if
she. It's a
it's
she. It's a
it's
she.
a
It's
she.
Emily Jenkins. Emily Jenkins.
There you go.
Yeah, who sometimes uses her pen name E. Lockhart. She's very beautiful. American writer. She's 56 and
Where's she from?
she's from New York.
Hmm.
Yeah, education Columbia University. So yeah, and she basically writes adult fiction books. Um yeah, so what was I saying? That she put us in the first person mindset because like we're moving the way that Cadence was moving. Cadence
Yeah,
lacks knowledge and we lack knowledge as well. So whatever she sees, we see. Whatever she thinks of, we think of. Wherever
yeah.
she goes, we go to and we go
We
through
find out things as she finds
as
them
she
out.
finds them out because it's not like she's hiding from us, she's hiding things from us. It's that she does not know. So we see everything that she sees and then we realize this is an unreliable narrator because this is and we should have realized that because this is a narrator that has been through mental trauma, dilemmas. She's taken a lot of drugs, her head has been hurt, she's suffering with trauma migraines and all of that, and we don't know what the story is. And I think we should have noticed that the fact that I should have noticed, I'm not gonna say we, because you probably have noticed, like how nobody like in the second visit in summer 17, because they call the summer, she calls the summer the
Yeah,
same
summer
age she is,
15 was the year that she had the accident.
the accident. Summer
And then
17,
she missed
sorry.
summer 16. Her dad took her away, so she didn't visit the island. And no one was talking to her the whole time. Like
Nobody
she was
wants to tell
trying,
her why. Yeah.
yeah.
Or tell us why.
And she was so the thing is, so as she finds out what's happening, we find out with her because on summer 17 when she comes back,
She get regains her memory slowly by being in the same
yeah.
places she's been in. So she's lost her memory during like that time. So it's like there's a shift from summer 15 to summer 17 and then just nonsensical
Yeah,
um
whatever happened to her and
arrangements.
during
Yeah,
that summer, it's comes back to her like slowly.
that's true. Yeah. And it's I think I should have seen that the fact that the liars don't ever leave Cuddle down and like the sudden disappearance and appearance of them, I should have like noticed that, but I did not.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing. Like
yeah,
when I first read it, I right away I suspected that they died because
that's
when
good.
she
I didn't.
arrives,
Yeah,
because when
they
she
didn't say hi.
arrives,
Yeah,
they didn't come to say hi, but the thing that I wasn't sure of, I think she asks one of Mirren's siblings about her, and then they don't say anything.
but
I
I
think she
just
says
wonder
like
how did she go with Miran to the town? Like, was she just walking
she
on
was
her own,
alone.
talking to herself? Wow.
She was alone.
Just that, like, like a grandfather is like reconstructing the house and
Well, she comes to visit, and then she realizes that
like that's in 2016, not 2016. Oh my God, summer 16 when she goes to Europe, and that's why like her mother tells her that's why you're not going to Europe. She doesn't tell her because well, you burned the house down, and we don't like I didn't connect it until later on, like fire. That's why
yeah,
he,
she doesn't
you know,
know. All she knows is
yeah,
that they remodeled. They
remodeled the house. Yeah,
remodeled the house, and it's a new house. Doesn't look like it was before. And
yeah.
then at the end of the book, we find out that the house burned down, and that's why.
It's funny how much like sometimes things don't make sense to you and your mind tries to make sense to them so you lie to yourself, and here I guess the idea of lying is lying to yourself more than lying to anybody else,
Well,
lying to yourself to survive.
do you think that's what she did? Because like that's another thing.
I don't think
She
it's intentional.
she says she had an accident, and it seems like she hit her head, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she did. She didn't have a
She did.
concussion or anything. I'm still trying to find when the brother talks about Mirren, but
Wait, I have it here, covered freckles
here,
and Marin
don't
loves me.
listen to Bonnie. I say listen to Mirren,
Yeah,
and Taft doesn't say anything.
acknowledge. Yeah, but
So
he
that's
doesn't
why
say that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know.
I was like, or maybe you will explain. But
Mm.
I was suspicious like for a long time. And you weren't at all like when they were interacting and stuff. You just thought that was normal.
And the kissing with what's his name? The guy.
Gat. We didn't talk about Gat at all yet
We forgot.
because
Gat.
yeah, because
Gat, it's
he's
the
not
love. Yeah, it's not
He's
part of the
not part
family.
of the family. He's Johnny, his mom,
See
Mary,
how we excluded him out of the family? He's not a Sinclair, and he's
no.
excluded because he's not white and blonde and all of
Yeah,
that.
he's pretty much Johnny's. So Johnny and Mirren and Cadence are cousins, and they are like the closest in age. So they're always together during the summers. And then I think I can't remember which summer, maybe summer, I don't know, 7. Gat started coming with Johnny because he is Johnny's step brother, right?
Is it a
And
son or a nephew?
it's his nephew, so not even his son.
Yeah,
And then Cadence falls in love with him.
yeah. It's summer 15, basically.
Yeah, summer 15, she finds out that he has a girlfriend, but the things that happened on summer 15 are still coming back to her. So she doesn't remember that like they did have kind of like an affair during summer 15. She only remembered later. But at the time, he was with her and the girlfriend. And then like when she was talking to the ghost, he kind of like apologized.
Yeah, that's why it was so strange to me to think it's a ghost.
Well, it was her, like,
Exactly.
projecting.
Um, definitely. So that these are initial thoughts about the book. Let's get into our deep discussion. What do you think about deception and lying in the book? Like,
What do I think about what?
deception, lying, in the
Deception?
book. Deception.
Is she decepting? What? I don't know. I don't think I know what deception means.
To deceive someone.
So she was doing that to herself then.
Herself, yeah. So there
Right.
is some
Okay.
type of deception. Do you think it's not fair that her family didn't tell her? Or do you think,
Yes.
all right, shall we go over the notes and like dissect each part from the beginning?
Sure.
Here I said it reminds me of parenthood, the
So you thought it was
cheesiness.
going to be a love story?
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
seen Parenthood? This is chapter 2, basically. Chapter 1,
I
actually, the end of
haven't.
chapter 1. I
I
really
haven't.
love that show. You should see it. It's one of my favorites. But the whole family dynamic reminded me of Parenthood. And I have this highlighted part in chapter 2. It says, my story starts before the accident. And I was like, which accident? June of the summer, I was 15. My father ran off with some woman he loved more than us. I literally thought that was the accident. Like she got run on by a bus
Oh,
or a car. Like it was just like so random. This accident. So at the beginning, she doesn't tell you that. She just gives you like this hint. It's an accident. And then you have to like connect the dots, which I loved so much.
I'm just trying to remember if like because she says it starts before the accident, and if she doesn't mention it until summer,
Yeah, no,
no.
no, no.
Okay, so like I
So the
think we kind
first
of
part,
forget that there's an accident until summer
yeah,
15.
exactly. So the first part is just the background, and then the second part tells you or gets you back. This is what I was talking about. The timeline is kind of you need to like connect it on your own, which is really nice, honestly. I like to be challenged. I have also this highlighted part in chapter 4. Me, Johnny, Miran, and Gat. Gat, Miran, Johnny, and me. The family calls us for the liars. And probably we deserve it. We are all nearly the same age, and we all have birthdays in the fall. Most years on the island, we've been trouble. So why do you think they're called the liars?
I feel like she told a story like when they first met Gat, and that's when they became the liars. Because like she kind of throughout the book she kind of
Yeah.
tells us that he was the one that quote unquote corrupted them because he's an outsider.
Yeah.
And I
Which
think
is a
that's when
reference to Northern
they
Heights, yeah.
weren't the liars until he arrived.
So they like did they lie about things? Like they're adventurous?
Before that, Miran, Johnny, and I weren't liars. We were nothing but cousins, and Johnny was a pain because he didn't
Mm.
like playing with girls. So Get started coming to Beechwood the year we were 8, summer
Mm-hmm.
8. We call it before that. recall it. Before that,
Yeah.
we weren't the liars. It doesn't say why they were the liars.
Yeah, they didn't.
Do you think so? Your question is that do you think that she made that up? They don't call them the liars, but she made it up that people do. That could be too, I feel like.
That's possible. This is not what I suggested, but that's very
Oh,
possible. Yeah. No, no,
then
this is
what?
very good. Um, yeah, because she's an unreliable narrator, so it could have been like people are calling her a liar and it's stuck to her like mind that why is it liars? What did they lie about other than like
I think it might
scheming?
be liars because they don't. The family doesn't know that they were the ones who caused the accident.
Yes,
Who?
exactly. So
So I
I
think
think
that
the name
yeah,
came
that
in
might be
after,
why.
like after the death, not before. Like before
But
that,
then
Mary and Johnny
why
were,
does she say that they were the liars or they became the liars on summer 8?
I think maybe, does she explain? Maybe she thinks so, but it's not really.
From what I can remember, um, they weren't the liars until Gat
Mm.
came, and that Gat was the one who, like, at least for herself, like he opened
No,
her
Gat
eyes about the
mentioned that.
family,
Yeah,
how like
mentions that.
yeah, they live in this bubble, and then outside of the island, there
Exactly.
is a
Yeah.
real world, and
It's like
like
you're lying to yourselves. Like the entire family is a liar.
yeah.
So,
The thing is, she didn't realize until he came about, and then she realized they were liars. So to herself, they were liars starting summer 8, but the fire happened summer 15.
mhm.
So they weren't the liars until then, but like in her head, she still called themselves the liars
Mhm.
because Cat came. I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense,
No, no, I understand. It's possible. It's possible that
but that's all a lie
could
because no
be.
one calls them the liars.
Yeah, have you seen an instant in the book that someone is calling them the liars?
No, and they don't lie like
They
this.
don't.
Like the
I
lie,
mean, you know when Miran lies about like being with having a boyfriend, I was like, oh, is that the lies that people are lying? Or when Johnny and like Gate go to the donut store and all of that, and she's like, why are you guys lying? And it's like you think, oh, these are the lies, and then you realize, oh shit, the lie
it's
is the
much
fact
bigger
that
than that.
yeah, is that they're not
Yeah,
alive. The whole book is a lie, and the whole idea is a lie, and the narrator is a liar.
pretty much.
All right, let's move on to this part. So here I have this highlighted. I'm saying we should talk about it. Not everyone has private islands. Some people work on them. Some work in factories. Some don't have work. Some don't have food. I don't know why I highlighted
Hmm.
that. Just caught my attention. I
I
think
think
God
that's
told her
when,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, so he opened her
those are
eyes.
those were the things that he would talk about, and then
Yeah,
like opening her eyes.
yeah, that's true.
What else did you highlight?
He was contemplation. Ah, yeah, this was the cheesy part. Contemplation, enthusiasm, ambition, and strong coffee. All
I
that
like
was
that
there.
part.
And the lids of his brown eyes, his smooth skin, his lower lip pushed out. What did I say? Let's see.
That's how she
Cheesy.
describes the liars.
Like cheesy as fuck.
Oh my God.
Just as cheesy. I just maybe because I'm a very unromantic person. I don't know. So that was just like for me. And chapter 11, I have Granny Tipper died of heart failure 8 months before summer 15 on Beechwood. Yeah, I just highlighted that. I thought it's gonna be important. I understood and I managed to erase Granny Tipper from conversation, the same way I had erased my father, not happily, but thoroughly. At meals with the aunts, on the boat with Granddad, even alone with Mummy. I behaved as if those two critical people had never existed. The rest of the Sinclairs did the same. So here's the
Hmm.
thing. This is, about the, pretending that things are just not there. So there is no confrontation. She does not, they like the entire family does not confront the past. And I think that's why they didn't want to confront Cadence. I think they do kind of believe deep down that it's her fault. The fire happened and they didn't want to confront her because they don't want to talk about these things. So even the family itself is lying to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she also does not want to confront herself. She's trying to erase the accident, erase the fire. So she pretends, like in her head, that the liars are alive. Like this is the idea. Like it's a family thing. Like whoever dies, you don't talk about them. Whoever goes away, you don't talk about them.
Oh, so that's why
That's
they
why
didn't.
nobody.
So
Yeah.
nobody talked to her about the accident because.
Yeah, or nobody brings up Miran or Johnny. That's why, because I should have connected this because like you just don't talk about the dead. They're not brought up. So that's why nobody brought them up. Like whenever she brought them up, they
I
kind of went
see.
silent. Yeah.
I see. And I think I just remembered what triggered them to set fire to the house. There was a dinner. Everyone is like acting
Oh,
normal, and
they're
then Gat says
fighting.
something,
Yeah.
and then Gat says something that like the Sinclairs themselves wouldn't bring up, like
Yeah.
especially when they were eating. They talked about grandma
Mm.
because she passed, and Cadence was sad about it, and I think Gat brought it up, and then everyone got sad, and then like that's not supposed to happen. We don't talk about these things, something like that, and that's when she realized that like, okay, so this family is like so messed up,
Yeah.
and then I think like this was what triggered them to decide to burn down the house.
The burning of the house was triggered by the sisters fighting. They were shouting about who would take what from grandma, remember? And then Cadence and Gat were in the kitchen and they heard the grandfather saying that he's going to disown Johnny's
When
mother. Was Carrie? Is it no, not Carrie? Is it Carrie? Yes,
I
it's
never
Carrie.
remember. It's
He's
too
going
many
to
characters.
he's going to disown her and like not give her
Oh,
the
because he's going to marry someone
inheritance.
outside of the family.
N
Is that
I mean, someone who's not white, basically.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why they decided to burn down the house
Mm.
because Carrie was going to be disowned.
Not only that, the sisters were fighting and like Bess wanted to take Winmere and it was just a huge mess.
And then they were like, we're going to fix this because
Yeah.
no one gets the house.
No, they're like, we're gonna burn the house and all the papers in it, the papers of like who gets what.
Right.
Yeah. So I have this also highlighted. I lay in bed in the dark and felt desperately sorry for myself because I was sick and even more because Gat never called. He didn't write either, weren't we in love? So I think the fact that she was writing emails and trying to get calls and nobody
No one
responded to
was
her.
answering.
Yeah, I think I should have seen that. I don't know. So I have this note written. Reading this makes me feel uncomfortable. It reminds me of the books I used to read when I was 15 and was overpowered by reading about teenage love. Reminds me of a book I truly wanted to read called I Heart You, You Haunt Me.
Is that one of your favorite books?
I used to love that book. I don't have it anymore because I gave it to a friend when I was 15 and she
Uh,
didn't return it. Karen Sinclair Eastman, post-traumatic headaches, also known as PTHA, migraine headaches caused by traumatic brain injury. She kept
so
mentioning
there
it's a brain
was
injury, brain injury.
so there was a so she did her hit her head.
Supposedly.
Like I feel like
After, I think I have highlighted that part. So let's see. If we don't find it,
okay,
we'll go to it. Yeah.
okay.
After a year, this is chapter 14. After a year in Colorado, Dad wanted to see me again. In fact, he insisted on taking me to Italy, France, Germany, Spain, and Scotland. A 10-week trip beginning in mid-June, which meant I wouldn't go to Beechwood at all. Summer 16. And that's basically the summer that she had to get away from the island because of what happened in summer 15.
Yeah,
We
because
later,
they were remodeling the house, but she didn't
yeah,
know.
she did know they were remodeling Claremont, not Windermere, but she didn't know why. She just thought her
Oh,
grandfather wanted to. Um,
on summer 15, 16.
yeah,
Oh,
I know
I
she
thought she
knew.
only saw it when she arrived.
Her mother did tell her. But what she did not know is that this trip was paid for by her grandfather to get her away from the place. We later
Yes.
on discover that by one of the liars. Gat, I think, right? Says that.
I don't remember.
But the thing is, he's a ghost, so how did he tell her that? So this is like, well,
She knows everything. She just doesn't
she knows, yeah.
remember. So
Or she
then the
doesn't want to.
ghosts,
That's true.
the ghosts are pretty much just her own conscience reminding her
If she
what
knows, that
happened.
means she knows literally everything. If she knows, like,
Yeah,
her grandfather paid for it, yeah, could be. Because her father wouldn't pay for that. Maybe she just thinks that. Maybe her father did pay for it, but who knows? The year after my accident, I missed the days and even weeks of school. I failed my classes, and the principal informed me I would have to repeat junior year. I stopped soccer and tennis. I couldn't babysit. I couldn't drive. The friends I'd had weakened into acquaintances. So this is why we think
that was
I
really
thought
sad. That part was really sad.
sad that she failed. And what was sad when her grandfather took her to the town and he's like introducing her to his friend. Is like, this is my granddaughter, and she feels so bad about herself, like the one who failed and everything. And
Yeah,
she still thinks that, her grandfather prefers Johnny and to give him the money inheritance, but there's no Johnny really. There's no one. It's just her.
yeah,
And I think her grandfather going mad is a result of the accident too, of the fire.
yeah. He's confused. He's keeps
He's
calling her
confused, yeah.
Mirren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here says, I wasn't entirely surprised they didn't answer. Besides the fact that to get online, you have to go to the vineyard. Beechwood is very much its own world. Once you are there, the rest of the universe seems nothing but an unpleasant dream. Europe might not even exist. This made me think about how Beechwood is like this fantasy island that does not even exist and it only exists in the narrator's head. And she thought the entire time we think that liars were in Beechwood during summer 16 while she was in Europe, while she was trying to contact them and tell them about her days, and nobody responded. But why wouldn't they? If they're like, I was so weird, they're her cousins. Why wouldn't they respond? And I understand that
yeah.
Beechwood is like, yeah, you forget everything, but come on, that's 2014. Like
Like they
teenagers are
they
always on their
they talked
phones.
about texting and sending pictures over the phone and things like that. So
Yeah.
it was weird that they didn't communicate between summers. But she also said that that was normal.
Yeah, for them. So like she gives
But
excuses.
yeah,
There's always an excuse, but is it like really that's the case, or is she trying to make her mind make everything up, like to connect everything? For example, you see something like or you discover something about someone you love that surprises you or shocks you, and then you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, so you didn't be shocked, so you try to like
yeah. You
connect things
create
like
you create your own narrative.
narrative, exactly.
In this case, I think protect herself and
Yeah,
cope with what happened.
exactly. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I don't
However,
know.
I am not immune to the feeling of being viewed as a mystery, as a Sinclair, as part of the privileged clan of special people, and as part of a magical, important narrative. Just because I am part of this clan. I feel like the entire family is like a story. It's like you don't believe anything. She's kind of proud about that, I suppose.
Being a Sinclair.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
likes it. Okay, so here I have what's the significance behind King Lear's analogy? I didn't understand why the significance of King Lear, but then at the same time, I guess what I understood is the fact that she's trying to show that these sisters are fighting over this kingdom of Sinclairs
Mm-hmm.
to prove and trying to prove to the grandfather who loves him the most so she can take like more from him. So they keep on lying, they make their children do that. So the family itself is a liar. It's not just the kids, and it's
Yeah, for
more of
sure.
the family. Yeah.
So all of the King Lear
Play.
play. Okay. She kind of rewrote this play a few times
Yeah,
on the
wrote the
book.
narrative of the three. Now, here's the thing: in folk tales, Shakespeare didn't wasn't very original. He did borrow from a lot of
Right.
tales. You
But the
always
thing
have
is,
this king with the daughters.
every time there was a new one, I couldn't connect the story of the family with the stories.
I
So I
didn't
don't know if they were
understand.
random.
I just thought she was trying to.
Like
She was.
I couldn't pinpoint which one of the sisters were the daughters, which one of the princesses.
Yeah, the youngest. It's supposed to be Penny.
Right.
All right. Um, I think the analogy of King Lear is the fact, like I said, the power, the patriarchal figure that the grandfather represented, how it destroyed this family, um, the American dream that was not fulfilled because they live
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, it's a
it's
lie.
the 1960s or 50s and it's 2014. It's a whole lie.
Yeah.
The mothers are basically broke, all of them,
Yeah.
the sisters, and they're dependent on this man to give them love, even though they don't really love him. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they love him as their father, but they have to prove so much to him through their
And they
children.
have and they have to do it before he dies because he needs to know, put
Exactly.
everything in writing.
Yeah.
So they
And
they they probably thought that Johnny was gonna get everything because he was the only boy or the oldest boy. But
oldest boy. Yeah.
they would fight because even though he was the boy, Candace was the oldest of all. So she should be the one to get the island, right?
Like the grandma didn't write anything. That's why they were fighting over everything.
I
Got
see.
it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, is that and storytelling. I think she was trying to survive through storytelling, so through making narratives. So she made up this narrative inside her head of the people still being alive. She's trying to make up narratives because she remembers stories being told to her by her mom, her and Gad. It's like it's a comfort, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And she
It,
relates it to her own family. But
yeah.
like deep analogy, if anyone from the listeners would like to connect it to King Lear or why King Lear precisely, I would like that because I understand the Wuthering Heights analogy, it's very clear, but the King Lear one with the stories in the middle, I don't quite. I understand like the family dynamic and all of that, the three daughters and all of that, but why does she keep rewriting it? Is it because she's
Is it
unreliable? Her mind
is it because
doesn't.
she's remembering things, so
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
rewriting as she goes,
yeah,
maybe?
could be, could be.
They're trying to find the next highlighted.
She turns the boat toward the shore, and suddenly I can see my liars waiting, right?
Not on the dock.
Not on the, yeah, not on the dock, but by the weathered wooden fence that runs along the perimeter path. And I think we should have like weathered wooden fence, weathered is like run down. So they're always in cuddle down or like in places that are kind of
Yeah,
run
they're
down.
always away from everybody.
Away. They don't even go for lunch. They don't even go for
Exactly.
dinner or anything. And that's why her mother keeps asking her, why are you always at Cuddle Down? What do you do at Cuddle
Yeah.
Down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was supposedly alone. I mean,
And
she was alone.
she doesn't ask, she doesn't tell her I'm with Miran and by the way, it's like she
She
knows they're
doesn't.
dead. No.
Yeah.
So it's like she's lying to herself, lying to us. I don't know. This is the reference to Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff is a gypsy boy taken in and raised by the pristine family, the Earnshaws. Heathcliff falls in love with a girl, Catherine, who's supposed to be Cadence, because
Hmm.
Kathy is called,
Oh,
yeah, in the book, in
they call her
Wuthering Heights.
Caddy.
Yes, she loves him too, but she also thinks he's a dirt because of his background, and the rest of the family agrees. I have a comment here. I like the analogy. That's the comment.
Right.
I have another comment. All right. Paris sent you to Europe for 8 weeks. You think he'll ever send Johnny or Miran? No, and he wouldn't send me, no matter what. Just think before you complain about stuff other people would love to have. And we realized later that they're envious of her and what she has because she's alive and they're dead. I flinched. Granddad sent me to Europe, so Gat told her that. Come on, says Gat, bitter. Did you really think your father paid for that trip?
So that's the her imagination though, right?
Yeah.
Telling her.
Yeah. Chapter 58 says, here, we set this far and it's burning down Claremont, burning down the palace of the king who had three beautiful daughters. We
Hmm.
said it, me, Johnny, Gat, and Mirren, so we wouldn't be like King's Lear story. They're not
Yeah.
going to fight and then lose their father, so we wanted to set it down, set the
Yeah.
fire. Um,
Oh,
the
it says in a rush, it hits me and I fall.
yeah, let me go
Because
back.
remember we were trying to find out.
Hits me hard. so hard I fall, and I plunge down to rocky, rocky bottom, and I can see the base of Beechwood Island in my
Like I
arms
feel
and my
like
legs.
I
This is
for
when
some
she
reason
went down, when she swam. Remember when she was like, no, don't jump, when she swam and she came up?
I don't think that happened. I think
Yeah, I don't
that's
think so. Could be her
metaphorically
imagination.
she did that.
No, I think it's her imagination.
So she had like a metaphorical concussion.
Oh, I hate this also. Beauty and the Beast analogy. She's beauty, he's the beast. So I have
Right.
this. He represents, so the father, yeah, the grandfather represents America, the patriarchal system of the US, obviously. Okay, Claremont was the symbol of everything that was wrong. It is Mirren's voice. She came in so quietly. I didn't hear. She is now lying on the floor next to Johnny, holding his other hand. The seat of the patriarchy, says Gad. I didn't hear him come in either. He lies down next to me. Here, we don't know they're dead still.
Mhm.
That's why she doesn't
No.
hear them. It's like they're ghosts, basically.
Yeah.
Chapter 80. Here's the truth about the beautiful Sinclair family, at least the truth as Granddad knows it. The truth he was careful to keep out of all newspapers. One night, 2 summers ago, on a warm July evening, Gatwick Matthew, so she mentions their names, they perished in a house fire thought to be caused by a jug of motorboat fuel, which is what
Mm-hmm.
she remembers Marin holding, that
Mm-hmm.
overturned the mudroom. The house in question burned to the ground before the neighboring fire departments arrived on the scene. Cadence Sinclair Eastman was present on the island at the time of the fire but did not notice it until it was well underway. The conflagration prevented her from entering the building. When she realized there were people and animals trapped inside, she sustained burns to the hand and feet in her rescue attempts. Then she ran to another home on the island and telephoned the fire department. When help finally arrived, Miss Eastman was found on the tiny beach, half underwear and curled into a ball. She was unable to answer questions about what happened and appeared to have suffered a head injury. She had to be heavily sedated for many days following the accident. So she did suffer a head injury. Cadence had no memory of the events surrounding the fire, no memory of it ever happening. Her burns healed quickly, but she exhibited selective amnesia, so selective. She chooses and selects regarding the
Mm-hmm.
events of the previous summer. She persisted in believing she had injured her head while swimming. Doctors presumed her crippling migraine headaches were caused by unacknowledged grief and guilt.
That's the part. She persisted in believing she had injured her head. She persisted in believing she had injured her head while
But
swimming.
he,
She
yeah, not
believed it.
swimming. So but she did have a head injury. Was it while trying to save them, or while she's
She wasn't able to answer questions about what happened and appeared to have suffered
appeared?
a headache. But like, and I don't think she did. And then it
Oh,
says later, it says acknowledged grief and guilt. So I think she made it up.
oh my God. But appear, that means it shows. If there's a head injury, it should show.
I don't know.
What do you guys think? I think people should answer us.
Right. Maybe I'm missing something, but I remember reading that and then thinking, oh, so she made it all up. She didn't even have
Yeah.
like a head injury. Like it's all metaphorical. Like she went in the deep of the and then she saw the underside of the island or whatever. Like it was all in her head. I don't know. I have to reread, I think.
Yeah. Or if anyone knows from our listeners, please do tell
If
us.
anyone remembers if she actually had a head injury or not, let us know.
Yeah. So I guess this is our
Our
analysis of,
discussion about the
yeah.
book.
How about we link this to, before I ask you questions about lying, let's link this to
Mhm.
Tegan and Sarah because they lie a lot. The
They are, well,
ultimate
they,
liars.
as teenagers, they were experts in lying.
Hmm.
feel when we're just on the cusp of trying to say something about ourselves, or reveal something about ourselves, and we were lying to our parents about, like, we were sneaking out, we were taking drugs. We obviously both were struggling with our sexuality, and so there was a lot of secret keeping during that time.
They also did incorporate lying in their music, and one of the
Music
songs
a
is
lot.
The Con. The con itself, like the album title, the title of the song is about someone who is like a con, who appears as someone else. It's a con artist, not who they
Yeah,
seem they
they're
are,
not who they are.
who they
They
are.
have a front. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was creating the folder for this episode, that's when I was like, okay, what should we call the episode? And then I realized that if we wanted to use Tegan and Sara songs, what, like, which one of their songs is about lying? They have quite a few songs about lying, but the
Mm-hmm.
con was the one that came to my mind first, because the con is like another word for the liar,
Yeah.
specifically someone who has
I
a front.
do
But
feel like Tegan directly mentions it, like mentions lying, but Sarah kind of lays it low, like she doesn't mention the word lying, but she mentions kind of pretending,
mm-hmm,
broken promises. Like Tegan's songs, like Dark Comes Soon, she does mention the word lie. I lie to me too. I think she says that.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Um, which is lying to yourself about something, just like the book. And this is a very emotional and sad song that used to make me cry when I was 19, call me
Can you do
all the
something for
time.
me? Can you
Yeah,
open the Tegan and Sara archive?
yes, it is open.
So go to Tegan and Sara lyrics. It's the fourth link. Yeah.
The word lie.
Yes. Like songs
Yeah.
about lying are the
Doesn't
con for
have to
sure.
mention, yeah,
Don't
the
believe the things they tell you, they lie.
force.
If you keep going,
Beauty. And she says that I lie to myself, protect myself. It's always Tegan, the one lying to herself.
I would say that she
She feels like
probably
she's
sings about
fake.
lying more than Sarah,
Yeah.
because I think in her songs, I think Sarah's more confident than Tegan in the
It's
lyrics.
that Tegan in her earlier songs kind of sang about lying a lot, but
Yeah.
Sarah later on, um she didn't sing about like the word lie, she didn't mention it, but it's about deception, like her songs about,
Mm-hmm.
being lied to or being deceived. So there's Dark Comes Soon, we mentioned that. I'll be back someday as what a lie. But it's yeah.
Exactly.
I could pretend if I could lie, if I could lie. Well,
Yeah, but back in the day, it's kind of about that too, because
yeah. Because pretending and lying is
yes.
same thing. Whatever that was has been dragging around the town every lie that you told me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, lying in relationships is something that is definitely
Lying is important.
not
Every
important, but it's
we
like
all lie.
a big part that can cause problems is lying.
Of course, I mean lying can save people and lying can cause problems, but usually lying destroys things, destroys
Exactly.
especially if you're living a lie or if you're lying to yourself, if you're lying to people about something huge. It's
Yeah.
just that, but why do we lie?
I don't want to be a liar, but I do it every day.
Yeah, don't believe the things they tell you, they lie. I couldn't be your friend. Now I want to say I was a liar, led you astray. I won't
See?
deny it, I did
The
one
person
day.
the person says she's a liar, so that's a deal breaker for the relationship.
Mm-hmm. So I said that Tegan's songs are very obvious about lying, like she mentions them, but Sarah's songs are discreet. But before that, let's talk about Don't
Right.
Confess, because when you're not confessing something, you're basically hiding it, you're lying
Lying.
about it. You're
Yes.
cunning. So Don't Confess also is a song about not being true to yourself,
Yeah.
trying to hide something. When it comes to Goodbye, Goodbye, if you take a look, let's take a look at the lyrics.
I guess goodbye, goodbye. The person she's talking about is the liar.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Also, I feel like Tegan, she's the liar in their relationships,
Yeah.
and, then in
Sarah
this
has been
song,
lied to.
yes,
So here, goodbye.
she's
I don't want
been
to feel the need to hear your voice. I don't want to feel the need to see your. I can't live with all these things I would say. I can't live with all these things that I'd say. Like the first time, like the first time. You never really knew me. Never, ever. never ever saw me like they did. So it's like you didn't see the person I am. So it's not just about lying, it's about like masquerading, being
Mm-hmm.
a different
Someone
person,
else.
someone
Yeah.
else, not being able to be yourself. And 100 times also, it was wrong of me to hurt such a big part of you. I swear I tried to leave you at least 100 times a day. I swear I tried to tell you 1,000 times different way. I tried to tell you, but I couldn't. So I'm lying to you. I tried to like, I'm also
Yeah.
hiding from you.
Yeah.
It's just very discreet, very like subtle, the way Sarah
But
puts
it's there.
the idea, but it's there. Like
Yeah, because I tried
it's
to tell you, but I didn't. So that
yeah,
means I lied. Yeah.
I lied to you, exactly. And now I'm just like surprising I'm going away. So there's this part of hiding
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yourself,
hiding is also lying.
of course, or especially in relationships, if you hide yourself from your partner, it's just a problem. Um, why do you think people lie?
So many reasons.
Yeah, list me a couple.
To protect themselves,
Yeah,
to make
make
themselves feel
themselves.
better, to look like a
Uh-huh.
good person,
Uh-huh.
um,
Yeah.
taking
Get to
advantage of
places.
people,
Yeah.
get to places,
Uh-huh.
yeah, go over people, make things their way, um,
Save themselves too.
save themselves, not to hurt
Save
people
others, not to hurt people,
or to hurt people.
or to hurt people. That's true. To bully.
Depends on
Are white
how.
lies okay? So do you think white lies are okay?
Yeah, but like it depends, I feel like.
Do you think some people are like they just love
I
lying that like their entire
Yeah, some people are like pathological liars.
liars?
Some people
Yes.
they just live in their own world and what they
Yeah.
believe is true, but they know it's not true, but like
Do you think
there's
that's a
so
mental
much of it.
illness?
Yes, for sure. I know people like that. They make things up just
Yeah.
because, because
And
like
it protects them. It heals them. What
yeah,
I've
and
noticed, yeah.
also like some lies people are just gonna believe you, you know. Sometimes you just
Mm.
lie because you know people are gonna believe you.
So protecting someone from a harsh truth is considered lying or not?
Yes.
It is.
Lying is lying.
Is deception the same as lying? Why am I quizzing you? I have no idea.
What is deception? Can you find the word in the dictionary, please?
All right. The act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. The act of deceiving, resorting to falsehood and deception. Use deception to leak the classified information, the fact or condition of being deceived. Oh, you have
So
this.
deception is a lie that you tell for something to get
Yeah,
something from
yeah,
it.
yeah. Deceive. You trick, like tricking. You trick someone.
So what was the question?
Is deception the same as lying?
Yes.
Or is it like part of lying? Like, because lying is the big umbrella, and then there's deception, there's, hiding,
Hiding.
there's, yeah, there's
Yeah,
white
it's
lies.
part of lying.
Yeah, of course. Good job. You passed the test. All right. I was searching some research papers about lying and where it comes from. It's called Lying in Early Modern Culture. So it's basically about lying in literature as well. It's written by
Mhm.
Andrew Hatfield in 2013, so it's not very old. But overall, he analyzes some literary texts, and lying is a conclusion or it's a result of religion mostly. That people
Oh,
usually lie because of religion. They don't want to be exposed. So,
yeah.
for example,
So for protection then.
protection, exactly.
Right.
Like
I
religion
have a
is
question.
blamed. Yeah, of
Is manipulating lying?
course. Manipulation. You're manipulating someone, you're basically trying to get them to think of something else, to think of a different reality in order to do what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reality that is created is a lie for
Uh-huh.
them to do
Yeah,
what you want them to do.
basically, I think so.
Gotcha.
Um, Basically, the author of this article analyzes John Donne, Robert Greene,
Who?
Sir Philip Sidney,
Oh,
and Edmund Spenser, poets,
right.
English poets, really old English
Yeah.
poets.
Yeah.
I didn't go over it, but it's the idea of like, yeah, religion is like let's be honest, a lot of Muslims do drink, even though drinking is like
Oh,
not allowed in Islam, but we like
true. I
don't
haven't thought of
tell
that way.
each other. So a lot of people drink behind their parents' back,
Mm-hmm.
behind everyone's back,
Mm-hmm.
and
So,
like
so
there is no
lying,
way to
lying,
justify it.
right. So lying came from protecting yourself from rules within
Religious,
one's religion.
yeah. Even if you go back to the history of queerness and how women and men used to lie about their identities in order to protect themselves. A lot of them used to marry within
Hmm.
engage in heterosexual marriages, even though or
Yeah,
despite of their
that's one of the most common
yeah, that's also
things.
because of culture and religion. And you know that religion also,
Yes,
controls culture. And
definitely.
so I understand sometimes why some people do lie, especially
No,
our
I
lies to our
understand, but
parents.
it's just a lie though,
But
it's
here's the
not
thing,
true.
do we lie to ourselves? I always wonder, am I lying to myself by being optimistic, by being hopeful, by thinking this and that? Or am I trying to make myself feel better? Like, do I live in a reality that's not mine? Because I feel like I live in it's like I have
But
this
then what is the lie?
my own, yeah,
Like
it's like
is
I
the
live
lie
two
your
different
reality
realities.
or is your
No,
or
the lie is I live two different realities. So what exactly, which one is the lie? And I don't know. It always makes me feel like I'm living a double life. Like I'm a con artist. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I'm here
yeah,
and there.
right. That's true. You know what I realized also that like books are all lies because they're made up. So
Of
they're
course, storytelling is lies because reality is made up. That's what
yes,
she was making. She was writing stories,
yes, exactly.
and
Going
it
back to
makes
the
you
book.
feel good because it's not the reality that you have. But it's a reality that you would like either to live in, or a reality that you hate, or a reality that you imagined. So you put it
Hmm.
inside that. And I've read recently that um storytellers or writers usually manifest what they write through their writing. And if you like um study their like writings, and you'd see the patterns of their lives, like whatever they write about kind of echoes something. And of course you're going to say, well, since it's part of their life. But for example, Edgar Allan Poe, he wrote those really horrific dark romantic horror story short stories, and that end in mystery, full of mystery and death and darkness. And his death was one of these stories. And people chasing others and hatred. And he died on, he was found dead in a street, on a street, a random street, and he was either killed or drunk to death. Nobody knows what happened. It's just a mysterious death. So like those writers just are just manifesting their lives. So be careful what you write, basically.
Hmm.
I should tell that
Manifestation
to
is a
myself.
thing. I manifest all the time.
Does it work?
Just did with the first. That's the thing.
When
I
you think
can't.
about it too much, it doesn't
No,
work.
no,
When
no.
it's
It
just
can't be
random,
intentional. It can't be
it can't be.
intentional. If
Yeah.
the manifestation is intentional, it doesn't happen.
I manifested Sarah into heaven, said.
But you had a dream. That's not
Ah, yeah,
manifesting.
that's
That's like
that's
predicting.
predicting.
Manifesting is when you think of something or you talk about something and then it happens, but it's not,
That's
it
true.
wasn't the intention.
That's true.
If you
That's
if
true.
you say like I want this to happen, it's not manifesting. It's just wanting something.
That is accurate, actually. Plagiarism is a academic lying, so don't do that,
True,
kids.
true,
Don't
true,
plagiarize. Don't pretend that you wrote the article and someone else did it. All right.
true.
All right.
Plagiarism.
I find it interesting that lying is very like important in media and shows. There is Pretty Little Liars. If you remember, The
So
Lying Game,
many.
Big Little Lies, something like
Big
that.
Little
Yeah,
Lies,
I
Pretty
love
Little
that.
Liars, The Lying
Yeah,
Game.
yeah. It's all about lying. All the shows are and movies are about lying. Somebody lies to someone. It's like cheating. It's like that's the dilemma usually. It's just a lie that grows and becomes big. And even while we're watching Buffy, it has a lot of like lying in it. And Deception. Would you like to play a game or is it too late?
Is it long?
A quick game. Tell me two truths, one line. I have to guess.
Oh my God.
We can't do this with each other.
No, I can't. I just can't come up with things like that so quick.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see then. Okay. This is not super fun, but I got my first period at 13.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
My first cat's name was Miller.
The lie is the period.
Yes, I was 11.
Yeah, you told me before.
Whoops. I tried.
All right. Let me. Okay. I have a Jewish cousin and my dad is 54 and my mom is older than my dad.
Your dad is 54 is a lie.
Yeah, that's true. He's 53.
We're good at this game.
Because my mom
should
is
do this
older than
more
my dad.
often.
My mom is 54 and my dad is 53.
Nice.
All right. Before
Well,
messages
first,
to listeners, I just have a question for the listeners that I want them to share stories about times.
we have a link now that you can send us messages and
Mhm.
questions, suggestions. If you go to our link tree, is the last link. So Miriam's gonna ask you guys a question and then you can just answer that. But also, actually, I'm gonna say that later. Go ahead.
All right. So the question is, share stories about times you've been lied to or caught someone in a lie. Make them as spicy as you want, as deep as you want. We're going to share those stories in the next
The next episode.
episode.
In the last episode, we asked you guys on Instagram to tell us your favorite sainthood song because the last episode was about sainthood.
I did think
And then
I think we did read those. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think we did.
All right. So Miriam says Light Up is her favorite sainted song. Oh my God, we didn't know that.
Madison NCC Sentimental Tune, Heather 0421 North Shore, Bitter Funhouse, all of them. You're cheating because you're saying all of them.
Yeah.
That's a lie. You're
Oh,
another
you're a
lie
cheater.
for the umbrella.
And
You're
whoever said
cheating.
someday is also a liar because that's not no one's favorite song. Just kidding.
People were actually excited about analyzing someday actually because last
Yeah, I
time
know.
that's the song we
Yeah.
did and everyone was excited about that. Not everyone, but
Yeah.
like I had a few
Like 2
comments.
people. Yeah, well, at least it's not Love They Say because that's not on sainthood, but it's no one's favorite. It
I
can't
mean,
be
I wonder
anyone's
if
favorite.
anyone has that as their favorite song.
Yeah, that person would be lying. Maju says the question is impossible to answer. Danny says on directing. I understand. Also, Lisa also says on directing. Emma says the ocean sentimental tune and risk, but then she says I lied. It's actually all of them. It's perfect album. So
See,
there you go.
right on brand, lying
Lying.
to us.
Yeah. Is that Saf? I'm sorry if I didn't read it.
Safinsa 26.
Yeah, The Cure for
Yes,
sure.
me too. The Cure. Okay, so thanks guys for submitting your answers.
Mine is obviously the best song.
And then this was a submission from listeners from last episode, but now I'm going to read actual messages.
I closed the drive.
It's there, the con. So first thing I'm going to ask is we have a listener, her name is Lana. She was on Twitter and she's not on Twitter anymore. Or I used to have her on Be Real and she's also not on Be Real. So Lana, if you're listening, please let us know that you're okay because like you're not we can't find you anywhere. And I got a little bit worried. Like we're not close or anything, but like I talked to a few people and nobody knows what's happened. So if you're listening, please just give us a shout if you're fine, just so we know that you're okay.
We have a Japanese fan.
I guess.
Wow.
I set up the link that I set up for questions and stuff. We already had some submissions. So here they are. First of all, it's in Japanese. I had to translate it. But it says, I have a question. What is the song play in the intro? I love this new feature. So the song is This Is Everything because the season is This Is Everything. So I thought it was cool to add that.
I don't think this is a fan. I think just person who found the podcast and like the ad and just
Maybe.
yeah. This one is in German, I think. Looks German, right?
It is German.
Oh yeah. So it says, I like the idea of the book club. I tried it a few times with friends, but it never worked out. I'm interested to hear how it goes for you. So far, so good. If you want a reading recommendation, last night at the Telegraph Club. All right. Let me
Well-
add it too. I'm gonna make a book suggestion.
So this one says games. We like Miriam's games. She is very good at creating them. It would be cool to have a guest score ranking.
Like the
If
game we were
people are
gonna play,
competitive and find that fun.
like
And
Jeopardy.
it would be nice to have a call for listeners to share their scores.
Oh, yeah. So we let like listeners to play the game and share their scores. Do you suggest any app I could do that with? Because Word Wall is a bit hard to give you the rank. I know Kahoot does, but I mean, it will get boring if it's only Kahoot, unless I find a website that has games or I can create games with that everyone can play and I can see everyone's scores. So if you like the sender of this message, if you have any website, if you recommend it, please do recommend it to us because I enjoy making games. I'm a
Mhm.
teacher and I do that for my students all the time. So it's like it's one part that I enjoy about the podcast as well.
What if I bet you can find a link how to create a BuzzFeed quiz.
I need the
And then
scores. I need the score. I know how the like you give them the link and then the score shows up to you. I need a link for that because I don't know any
they can
of
share their own
these.
scores. You wanted to see their scores?
So we can like
Okay.
expose them.
I see. Right.
The creator
Okay.
must,
I think
yeah.
there's only one more left. Oh, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks, guys, for sending
Listen to this
questions and
very
suggestions.
long episode.
You can find us. Actually, you can just go to our link tree. That's the easiest. Wanna talk TNS pod? All of the links are there. You can send us questions, suggestions, like I said, and please, like you can either follow or subscribe, and also rate. So give us 5 stars because apparently that helps. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but why not? Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
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 I wonder what their name is. Do we know?
No, I don't. I didn't do any research to be honest. I'm so sorry. I was
That's
supposed to.
fine.
The
I
only
didn't
research
either,
I
so
did
I don't know.
sounds like poop.
I know, right?
Debbie, this is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, share your first thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. So what I
First impressions. They don't they don't know that they were the one. They were Jesus.
So deception is the art of being a con.
Deception is the art of being a con.
Kind of like you're being
Is that what the
deceptive.
dictionary says?
No, that's what Miriam says.
That's not the dictionary, that's the translation.
Oh, it's Arabic. It's English Arabic. Well, just read it. There you go. It's in Arabic now. He says it's the cure. Very important
Hey,
submissions.
don't say my Instagram.
Debbie says it's the cure.
Liar, liar.
Pants on fire.